You're
I'll
fine.
send it to you.
Right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Lunch and Learn. If you got any questions, please feel free to post them in the chat. I don't have, at least from when I looked just a little bit ago, I did not see any pre-submitted questions that went through, or if they did, I did not see them. So if you have any questions, please post them in the Q&A, and I'd be happy to discuss anything and everything that we've got. Got quite a few people here in the chat today, so I think we've got quite a few things we can talk about. All right. Got a question from Marvin, so we'll start with that one. And then, like I said, got quite a few people here. So if you have questions, if you're here just to watch, then great, go ahead and watch. But if not, if you have questions, please post them in the Q&A, and we'll do our best to get to them. All right, Marvin, I'll let you talk if you have anything to expand on, but I'll read the question out loud. So the question is, using comments API to get a collection of comments, trying to use a collection sort step to the created by date in reverse order with no success. So if you have any further explanation, go ahead and let me know, but I will pull it up while you're talking.
I was trying to keep it pretty simple. Just get some comments and sort them in reverse order based on the created by date.
Okay. And how are you getting the comments?
I was using the integrated API, but if I need to use fetch entities, I can do that too. Yeah.
Okay. So you're like an internal services for comment
Yeah.
service, is that what you're referring to?
Yes. Yeah, it says API on it, so that's what I
Yep.
keep calling it.
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
Yes. There's
All
a
right.
comments down there somewhere. Oh, what? See if I can.
All right, let me just grab something. I have to make a couple comments because I don't think I have any comments on this project or server. All right, and do you know which specifically which step or which method I guess you were using to get them? Were you just getting folder comments or something?
I was mute, sorry. Get folder comments.
And then you just had the folder ID in here or whatever
Yeah.
folder is in.
Yeah, the get folder comments works just fine.
Hmm.
It's just the sort that
And then you're trying to
and
afterwards sort by, you said created on date.
yes.
Got it. Okay. And what are you just using a regular sort step or are you using something else?
I tried to use that collection sort.
Hmm.
It's the innards of that I got confused. Yeah, that.
I see.
I did my best at filling it out, but based on the documentation.
I see. Okay. If that's the case, and that's all you're trying to do,
Hmm.
'cause I think that will get more complicated. I think just doing it like this, because you can fetch comments.
Right. Okay.
Uh, you can fetch the comments.
Okay.
It requires you can input a parent folder ID. So
Okay.
if you know exactly like what the folder is, right? In my case, it's
Right.
this comments folder. You could easily grab that, and then just naturally you do have the ability to sort in.
Well,
Uh,
the only issue with that is you can't sort descending, or if you can, I don't know how. Okay. You can't
Sort
see
order
the
field.
forest for the trees. It's okay.
Yeah, and this should grab it for us, no problem.
All right. Let me just see that right quick. Let me do a screenshot just for my.
Yeah, and yeah, this looks like
Yeah,
it's working because I my second one came first because it's going in
that's
that order.
exactly. Yeah.
Yep. So
So,
yeah, it's
okay. I got
comments
it.
and then make sure that you get the correct sort field, and then the order should be right underneath sort field. So
Right. Like I said, forest for the trees. Thank you.
yep. Yeah, it looks like Jeremy McNeil commented on that kind of similar fashion. Sort array would be, if you're trying to do any kind of sort, would probably be a little easier than this collection sort. I think it's just a little bit more complex, but I think fetch entities fits exactly what you need and will still achieve the same result. I think ultimately a fetch entity step is going to be, I could be wrong, but I think it's going to be a little bit more performant than it's also just one step as opposed to getting the comments and then sorting
Right.
them as well. So yeah, I think that's going to be your best bet.
Works for me. Thank you.
And Jeremy, thank you for chiming in on that one as well. All right, we'll move on to the next question. It comes from Helmet. I'll let you talk if you have anything to add, but is it
Hey,
possible to close an assignment within a flow, even if it has not been actioned by whatever user it is assigned to?
yeah. So I'm trying to figure out kind of a convoluted strategy to use assignments to kind of time gatekeep certain branches that I have in a flow.
Hmm.
So basically, I have a flow with four branches, and I need to kind of take care of some complex dependencies. This has to happen after that, and this can't happen before this. So I've come up with this idea of having these kind of dummy tasks get created as one of these branches, and then having one of the other branches action that task, that dummy task, so that when that task actions it, it moves on to the next flow in this step. So I don't know if that is raising alarm bells for you already, but my ultimate question is can I close or action tasks from an assignment step in another flow?
So like specifically like you have assignment A and inside this flow, I want like assignment A is working in like a different flow somewhere else. And then I want this flow to be able to close that assignment,
Yeah,
like a
basically.
completely separate flow. Got it.
Yeah.
My
I mean,
best guess
I
here would
I
be I don't
imagine.
know if there's an internal services step related to assignments that might let you do something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, like there's a complete assignment. So
Oh,
if you can
okay.
get the assignment ID of that
Right.
assignment, right, pass it through or something, get that information. you'd have to send it somewhere, right, to be able to get it or receive it, I guess, in like your separate flow. But
Right.
like that's a direct, you can, as long as you have
Close
that
it that
ID, it'll
way.
mark that
Yeah.
assignment as complete for you.
And are these like internal service APIs available in 8.12, or is
Yes,
this a
the
9.0 thing?
the only difference, it looks a little different in version 8. I don't have an easy version 8 to open up real quick,
Yeah, that's fine.
but it's the same thing. It's under integration, and then you go to internal services. And in version 9, when I hit this, it's going to expand and show me one step. In version 8, instead of just one thing, it's going to expand to a whole bunch of drop downs.
Yeah,
Those
which are
drop downs
those?
are
Yeah,
these service names.
gotcha,
So from that drop down in here, you should be able to find assignment and then the drop down that would contain all the methods underneath it.
gotcha.
So
Okay, sweet.
otherwise, the same ones should be there unless like there's maybe like a rare odd like few here and there that may have been added since version 9.
Yeah,
Just because we've had a few updates in version 9. I don't know for sure if that's been the case, but I highly doubt that complete assignment is new to version 9. I'm sure
yeah.
that's in 8 somewhere.
No, this is exactly what I'm looking for. I'll just have to see if it works.
Okay, perfect.
If I,
Thank you.
oh,
Go
might I
ahead.
add one other thing to this? There is a complete assignment and other flow step that exists within decisions. This does basically the same thing as the eternal service step.
Oh
The
yeah, there you
only difference is that you get to specify the outcome path for that assignment if it has multiple different ones that it could go down.
Huh.
Yeah.
Multiple for the assignment. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and none of
go.
that will
Like if it has like a
populate
submit or a
until
cancel
you.
button.
Right, right. The only way that you get those fields populated is by selecting the flow first that that assignment resides in. So
Mhm.
that's why you don't see any drop downs, but it might be another option to look at.
Yeah, no, that's another one to look at for sure. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Gary. Didn't know about that. That's cool.
I'm gonna take a quick screenshot if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Jeremy McNeil's also adding something called process form assignment response. I'm not 100% sure if that's a specific step or where that would be, but that might be an alternative, a third alternative, I guess. If neither of these work exactly as you're looking for, or if they become difficult to work. Yeah, sorry, let me let you speak up. There you go.
Yeah, it's also in the assignment internal service
Oh,
method.
it's in here.
So just another method. But it takes a little programming on the assignment itself to set up alternate responses that can then be called from this step to then process that down a flow. Usually I use that for if I have an assignment that doesn't get actioned on, instead of using the expires flows or like that, I can use this to end them without going down the completed task. I can just have it go out and not do any more of the logic that I might have had in there.
Sweet, thank you.
Thanks for the additional point. There you go. Hopefully a lot of new things to try then. Cool. All right. Well, we've got one more question from Jeff Humphrey, so we'll go to that next. As a reminder, I know we still have quite a few people in the chat. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to add them to the Q&A, and we'll get to them once we're done with this next question. So if you have anything else, at the moment, this is the last question for now, but we can always add more if anyone comes up with anything. So please add them to the chat. All right. Our next question. If I have decision servers in a cluster, is there a way that I can direct my browser to a specific one? I don't have access to the servers directly. The reason being I'd like to run a debugger on each server so I can make sure to capture the particular flow. All right.
Yeah, I guess on the surface, this sounds like it might be a silly question because I think by the nature of load balancing that sort of masks that. But I didn't know if there was something built into decisions where you could pass a like a flag or something in with your URL that would somehow direct it to a certain server. Or if you guys had maybe a suggestion for how to set this up, like have you ever run into this situation?
Mm. I definitely have not seen it. I don't know for sure anything about this. I don't know, Gregory. I don't know if you've experienced anything or have any guesses on. Uh,
Y- yeah, I actually can provide some insight into this.
oh, that'd be
The
great.
answer
Thanks.
is you can't from decisions. You would have to specify any sort of URL flag within the load balancer, not within decisions, in order to direct it to that flow. There are quick and easy ways to check which node you're on, which I'm not sure which way you're using to check your node currently.
I go into the servers page in the admin tools.
Okay, yeah, that
Yeah.
works. So, yeah, there are a few different ones. You can run a select. There's actually a get machine name step that you can actually run a flow that spits it out as well. But yeah, there is not a way to direct that from decisions itself because if you're thinking about the architecture here, you're being directed to some sort of backend decision server, right? Balancer. That server in decisions isn't going to know how to send that user to another server, right? So you're already in the server once you've had that. The only way to actually direct yourself to that is either one, like you mentioned, that you don't have access to, hit the IP of the server itself from your local host, or two, make some edits within the load balancer to configure a flag. I don't know what kind of load balancer you have, if it's like a dynamic one using least connections, if it can monitor server activity. Because if you do have something that can actually see the activity on the servers, you might be able to configure some logic within the load balancer to direct particular client IPs coming in to particular servers and make changes there. So if you don't have access to the backend servers, if you have access to the load balancer, you might be able to do it there. Otherwise, it's just keep making incognito tabs until you hit them all, admittedly.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, the other thing I did notice as far as the debugging, so I have tried that. Like so if I have two servers in a cluster, I'll just keep deleting the cookies and refreshing till I get one that says it's on one and one that says it's on the other. But then I noticed when I open the global debugger, when I hit the switch to turn on the debugger, it does it in both tabs, and it doesn't capture anything. So I'm not
What do
sure
you,
if it's
oh,
not
a quick
really.
question. What do you mean by it does it in both tabs? Like the global debugger operates from both the incognito and the normal, even if they're on two different servers?
Yeah.
Interesting. And it only captures the activity of none of them?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it captures activity on either. So I don't know if there's something about that that's not designed to work that way or something, but
What version are you on?
8.16, I think.
8.16. Let me look into that. That sounds like a bug. But let me check that version 8.16. I will get back to you later during this lunch and learn meeting or just over email with what I find if there's anything about that version, but that doesn't sound right. But yeah, as far as your question goes, that would be the answer.
Okay. We're on 8.18.1.
8.18.1. Okay, gotcha. I will put that in instead. Sorry, I just typed in the wrong one. 8.18.1. All right, cool. I'll get back to you.
Okay, thanks.
Sure thing.
All right. Good stuff. Oh, had a lot of questions in the beginning, but most of them seem to be pretty quick answers. Anyone else have anything additional to add? Ask about things we could talk about today. right. Well, if we don't have anything, we could definitely end this a little bit earlier than normal. I've seen a couple people have already left the chat, but I want to give it just like another minute, just in case anyone's mid typing a question or something, or if you want to like raise your hand or whatever. If we can do that in here, just let me know. This is the last chance. We can end it early a little bit today if we don't have anything else, but I'm always here to ask or answer any questions. All right. Well, everyone's dropping like flies. A couple people leaving still. All right. If we have nothing else, then we can go ahead. We'll end up lunch and learn a little early for today. Thank you all for joining. I am Jeremy. If I actually did not mention that at all at the beginning of this, like we normally do. But anyway, we'll still have a couple this week from Gregory and myself again. So please feel free to ask any questions, and we'll be happy to discuss on the next lunch and learn. All right. Thank you all for joining, and we'll catch you all next time.